JJ, I mentioned this game to you a little bit already, and I can actually talk a little bit now that the embargo is up. I like you. I love to play. I grew up playing games throughout, like games in the 80s and 90s. Those are some of my best memories are from that time because, especially from a PC standpoint, there was so much innovation as people were trying to figure out what games needed to be. Edutainment was a big aspect of that era, and I talked about Oregon Trail. We've talked about other edutainment games.
Yeah,
One
that's
of
good.
the
I thought I missed you reviewing this, so I'm glad to
no,
be
no, no,
here.
no. The one of the games that I absolutely loved growing up, we had what was like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, and they made a few spin-offs. They made Where in the World. There's Where in the USA, Where in Time. I think there was Where in Europe. We had Where in Europe is Carmen Sandiego. And I loved it because
Yeah.
you learn. It's a trivia thing. You're actually learning facts, and they gave you this like small pamphlet book to read through that gave you the information that you needed to go back in. But this again well before the internet in the 80s, mid to late 80s, and so you're kind of stuck. Whatever is on this pamphlet in this little mini guide they gave you, if it's not there, you have to go to the you have to go to the library to figure.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself an encyclopedia.
A
real map.
So when they announced, they announced the show was coming back, there was a show, so they had the show that came out in like 2019, 2020, 21, that time frame.
Yeah.
Fairly
That's a
good,
good show.
interesting. Yeah, actually good, interesting, entertaining show. Great characters, great animation style. There's finally a game coming out for
Cashing
that show, cashing in. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And it is but it's based on the original idea of what Carmen Sandiego is. So again, I'm playing this on Switch. You can actually play this on Netflix right now. So if you have a Netflix, go just hop into your phone or a lot of other devices and play. But I'm playing it on Switch. And essentially what this game is, it takes the classic idea of Carmen Sandiego of you have this time frame where you have to capture someone. In this game, you are playing as Carmen Sandiego. In the past, you are playing as a detective on the trying to get Carmen Sandiego, trying to find her, and because she's on the run. So in this case, you're looking for this group called Vile. Oh, great. And it is so you're hopping around different parts of the world. You go from city to city. You'll look at all these different kind of monuments and areas, and you get to kind of track these individuals there. So let me share this experience, this video right now. So the game itself kind of takes place from it's an adventure game. There's a little bit of like point and click, and there's a little bit of point and click. There's a little bit of tech stuff. There's a little bit of you're moving around in a third person, overhead isometric. There's actually some action sequences in a weird way. But we have, again, like I said, we have a set amount of days. Like the first mission is like 7 days, so that means every time you fly somewhere, they kind of give you this map, and you can kind of choose from different, like 2 or 3 different destinations. Every time you fly somewhere, you're using up hours. You're using up a day, and then every task you do, let's say if you go to Rio de Janeiro and you can go to a museum, you can go to a market, you can go to the beach. You go to those things, you start using up an hour here, an hour there. You're talking to people. You have an hour to talk to someone, whatever. So you're using up time doing all these things, right? And that's just to kind of start collecting clues. And you get the clues to find out where this person is, and you can kind of see in the videos here. It shows, you have the collection of this cast of characters. Depending on what clues you have, just like in those classic games, you can start to piece together which of these agents it is that you're looking for. Like in the very first one, it's like, it's someone with brown hair, and they're not right-handed. It's like, oh, okay. So you just look for the person who's left-handed and has has, maybe they're whatever, but not right-handed could also mean that they're ambidextrous, that they're, whatever. So, and it says they don't like seafood, but there's like 10 different types of foods. So you start to pull these hints together. It's kind of like that the Who Lives in the Pink House type of thing, right? Those old little puzzles that we played when we were younger. You have to kind of
guess. It's guess who. Does he wear glasses?
It's kind of guess who. And so you get these clues. You get, for instance, you go to one cafe and it kind of leads you to figure out who those specific people are. It says, maybe they're in New Orleans. You go to New Orleans, and all of a sudden in New Orleans you have to actually chase this person through the streets, but you have to duck out of the way when they turn around. So there's a little bit of a sneaking, like 3D sneaking game attached to it. So it's almost like a series of mini games. You can see them in some of these videos. And you have to pickpocket them. And then another one is you have to use the glider because they're running fast, and you have to use this glider to kind of launch yourself through the city and go through certain obstacles. Another one is you have a puzzle that you have to do because you're linking aspects of a circuit together. It's a lot of those types of things. So there's the classic Carmen Sandiego stuff in there where you're trying to find the person, find out which person it is, and find out where they're located based on specific hints and aspects of geography. But there's also there's for the modern and the young sensibilities. This game is geared towards young people. There's some light action sequences. So like even stuff like opening up, cracking a safe open or completing a circuit, like I said. So they did a surprisingly nice job of translating that old game. The visual style isn't great. It doesn't look good on the Switch. I've looked at it, looked at screenshots and stuff on the Steam Deck and all that kind of stuff on my phone. That version. It's not a great looking game for my standard. For a kid who's like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this is totally fine. I mean, this is what they're looking for because it looks like the TV show. So
there are moments where it looks like Fortnite.
It does, and I think they purposely designed some of this to look like that. Some of the UI, because that's what the kids are used to. They're used to Fortnite. Yeah. If you go to, like I said, you go to the wrong city, you lose time, blah blah. But I love the time-based aspect of this, and to me, that's always been some of the funnest part of Carmen Sandiego games. Is you're trying to track down stuff and do things before time runs out. So there was a moment, I think, like on the 5th or 6th mission that I was playing, where I started to think, oh, I may have gone to the wrong city, and I've only gotten one tiny little clue out of this, but I've lost like 2 days worth of travel. It's going to be very tight for me to get to catch this person in, wherever they are, in Paris or wherever. It's like I actually may not make it in time. And then if you do screw up, I did take the chance to try to mess up on purpose and see what happens when things run out. The game's very forgiving. You can, even if you miss, you still get plenty of opportunities to redo stuff and do missions, that kind of stuff, because you still are hunting for sort of the same evil agents, vile, it's evil agents across the world. You still got to capture them anyway. So I like that it has an in-game book, so you can kind of list out all those hints and the tips and who these people are and any rumors you come across, and you can actually put up it lets you kind of store the information about the geography too, which is kind of nice. I mean, we live in a world of internet. You could literally have your game console on one side and just hop online, and it's like, okay, where is this famous person? Like one of the first people I think her name was Marie Laveau, and she was the Queen of New Orleans. I'm like, I could Google
the Queen of New Orleans, Queen of New Orleans. The Voodoo Queen.
Yeah, exactly. I could Google that. That's fine. But it's not necessarily those facts. It's which are the correct facts. How do you link these facts together? And it's guess who, but it's done in a really kind of interesting way. And I'm really surprised at how how they were able to pull this off and make it enjoyable. You know, it can kind of drag on a little bit because you are doing these same types of things over and over and over again. But that was the original game, as the original series as well was. You're just constantly going around the world solving, you know, getting these clues, getting these hints, solving these little puzzles, and trying to catch these people. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mobile game. Again, I think that's just the back end of this because it was a Netflix thing. It's designed for kids, designed for phones. The UI is nice and chunky.
Does the touchscreen stuff work on the Switch?
No, it doesn't. Touchscreen stuff does not work on the Switch, which is kind of a bummer because you'd think that would have been the perfect thing to put on there, but no. Yeah, I think it's good. It's good edutainment. It's masked well as teaching. It's definitely like it's masked well enough. It's like the kids are not going to know that they're learning stuff, but they're definitely learning stuff. And that's what I loved about the original games in this series. You know, is that you didn't realize you were learning things. Like we would play this and Oregon Trail. After we were done with our classwork, like in our computer lab in 1987 or 88, whatever it was, it's like, all right, you guys have the next 15 minutes free to play whatever you want, or 20 minutes, whatever, to play. It's like, it was this game. And you're sitting there and you're playing this and you're like, oh, all right, Luxembourg, and there's a prince, and there's this, and you're like learning this kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, we just learned a bunch of like, yeah, it's trivia, but you're still learning things, and that was pretty cool. So,
do you remember these that they were selling not that long ago?
Yes. Oh yeah.
There is a Carmen Sandiego one of these.
Is there really? Oh,
that
cool.
I could never find. Like this is the Oregon Trail one.
Yeah, that was the little portable, little handheld portable device thing.
Yeah, there is an OG. They did an OG Carmen Sandiego one that I could absolutely never find. It bummed me out because I was way more interested in that one. Oregon Trail's cool, but I like Carmen Sandiego.
So, I will say though, so the review unit they gave me, the review copy, also comes with the first DLC, which is it's sort of a separate little mini campaign within the game, but it is it's the 8-bit game. It literally is the classic game with slightly, it's like 8-bit, 16-bit visual style, because it's just single screens. But that captures that original feel, and it's so good. It even references the 80s games a lot. Like there's a lot of little references down to like saying is, you know, like there was one moment where somebody says, you have to look at the 1985 manual to get the answer to this. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so perfect. So that's just Google now, but still. So anyways, surprised by how much I enjoyed this. I wasn't expecting a lot going into it. I thought maybe it's, you know, just kind of a kid's thing, and it is a kid's thing, but it's just interesting to start doing the cork board on a wall and trying to capture these folks, and enjoyable character design, enjoyable character, you know, a lot of really great characters. Story is whatever. It's just, hey, we have to capture, you know, Dr. Purple or whatever. We have to go to this town. So there's not really much of a story, but overall, I mean, it's.
And they look at the camera and say, "Do it, Rockapella!" And
yeah. So,
now hear me out. David Cage's "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?"
Where in the multiverse is Carmen Sandiego? But no, this is it. Good game. I can definitely say that it's worth checking out. If you got Netflix on your phone, I'm loading it up right now. Go ahead, Carmen. I think Carmen Sandiego is right on there. I think it's released right now. Let me check here as we're talking. But you can definitely, let's see, mobile games. There's the Love is Blind mobile game. I do a search for Carmen Sandiego. I'm sure I never looked at that. I never look at those. You know, here it is, Carmen Sandiego. Bam, here it is. Yep.
She'll steal your soul in South Korea, make Antarctica cryo